Well, it's Friday night, and I made it through the work week. Yay me. I'm sitting here in my comfy clothes. Ordered me some DoorDash. Yes, I'm a foodie. Let's talk about it. Well, hello, YouTube fam, and welcome to Friday night in my bedroom. A long day, long week. Not that it was an extremely wild week, but, you know, it's a funeral business. What can you say? So after work, I went by my booth and worked on it. I'm trying to get some ideas on how to redo it. And so tomorrow I plan on working on it. So anyways, I came in and I was pooped and I had a credit to order on DoorDash. And so I thought, I want to order something good because it was a credit I had. So I did. I ordered me some barbecue, this local barbecue place here. And I got it, and I was so excited because I ordered a coconut fried pie, which I've never had, and I wanted to try it. And I ordered some potato salad, and baked beans, and some brisket. And they brought me the wrong order. Now, I'm not complaining because it had brisket and chicken, but I like brisket, and that's what I paid for. I had to pay for, extra for that brisket and potato salad. So they sent me baked beans and jambalaya. Now, I took a bite of it, and it is really good. No, I did order baked beans. But anyways, the jambalaya is really good, but it's extremely spicy. So, and I got a roll, and I was supposed to get a fried pie, and they gave me French fries instead. I know, I'm constantly eating. And I really don't eat a lot, but I just like good food. So on DoorDash, I had the choice of either getting my money returned, which was a credit that they had given me anyways, or I could get another thing of food. They're supposed to bring me the right items this time. So I chose to do that because I looked at it this way. That's lunch tomorrow and breakfast and then, I'm going to go work on my boots tomorrow so I can go take it to my daughter. And I really wanted that coconut fried pie. Like, I love fried pies. I had an aunt named Sally. And my dad would let me stay with her occasionally when I was a kid. And I remember her teaching me how to make fried pies. And she made chocolate ones. And I can remember helping her roll the dough. I mean, she made everything from scratch, even the filling, the pudding. And so I can remember helping her make those in her kitchen. And she was such an amazing cook. And she passed when I was about 10 years old. And it just broke my heart because I'd spent a lot of time with her when I was a kid. And, but anyways, that was one of my favorite memories, was eating her fried pies. And I've yet to taste a fried pie that tasted like my Aunt Sally's fried pie. So they might not be any good. I really like this barbecue place. I mean, it's one of my favorites. It's local. And I eat there when I can eat barbecue. Barbecue's kind of pricey. Of course, eating out is pricey, but I always try to eat very frugally. The other day, if you've watched my video the other day, I got free food the other day. And so because I don't know, McDonald's messed up on my order and they gave my order, they charged somebody else for my order. Anyways, long story short, I ended up with 2 hamburgers, 2 4-piece chicken nuggets, and 2 orders of French fries and a large Diet Dr. Pepper. And it cost me like a little over $5. So I got a lot of food. I think I got about $14 worth of food for very little. Zoe is in a mood, so that's her cranky butt over there. So tomorrow's Saturday, and I need to work on my boot tomorrow. So that's what I plan to do. I really need to be in there pricing some stuff, but I'm kind of pooped. But right now I need to go get my other order of food. Hang on. Okay, we got the other order of food. The only thing is, I had to tip my first DoorDash driver, and I always tip really good. I mean, because I have DoorDashed and I have done Walmart delivery, and I've always tried to tip really well because there was a lot of times people did not tip me. But I'm not that kind of person. So, would you get, my talks are all in my face. So then I had to turn around and tip this girl. Okay, so there's the fried pie. It's not as big as I thought it would be. I don't see it. Fried pie. Looks amazing, so let's try it. I don't know if it was, I thought it was coconut. Mmm. Mmm. That's pretty amazing. It tastes just like a coconut cream pie. Oh my God, that is so good. I better stop. Now on the last order, they gave me jambalaya, which I like it, but it's just very, you see dogs are all in. So there's the jambalaya, and it's chicken, and they gave me brisket, but mainly chicken. But like I said, I paid for brisket, so I wanted, they gave me like 2 pieces of brisket, little brisket, and then the other was, the rest of it was chicken. But you know, okay, that's all right, I don't mind, but I paid for brisket. Get back. So here's their potato salad. They have amazing potato salad. There's their potato salad. Wow. I don't eat coleslaw very often because my mother was like the queen of coleslaw. She made good coleslaw, and that's what she was known for. And well, I guess they thought a lot of people were eating because look at all these forks. Anyways, and then let's see if I got the right food. Which, you know, honestly, I mean, I did get a lot of food in that last one. Okay, yeah, so I got brisket and baked beans. I have plenty of food. Yeah, that's the brisket. So I got 2 pieces of brisket with the wrong order, but the rest of it was all chicken. And I thought, you know, but yeah, their brisket is really good. So that's, anyways, that order is right, but I'm so full because I ate the 2 pieces from the brisket of the last one, and I took 2 bites of that pie. So now I have all this food. I really lucked out this week getting a lot of free food. So I got all this food. I'm really trying to revamp my booth, and my heart's just not into it because I have so many responsibilities here at my own home that I really need to be doing. Like, you know, I need to go out there and weed eat for the last time. Excuse me. So I have so many responsibilities, and I had considered closing my booth, but I don't know. I have so much stuff I need to get rid of. So I thought about giving up my booth, but I mean, okay, so I was watching this lady the other day. She's my hero. Yeah, she used to owned her own business, and I think she's quite a bit younger than me, but I love my home, I really do. But you know, sometimes I just feel so tied down to my home. Simply, and I'm very grateful that I have a home, but I have a yard to keep up. I have, you know, maintenance on my house. I just have things that I need to do, and I try to do them all myself. I used to have my yard mowed and paid for it, but you know, I just really had to, you know, tighten up my budget lately. And honestly, I've even thought about trying to find another little job to kind of help. But I'm thinking, oh God, when am I gonna have time? But I really do need some more income. So, but don't we all? I mean, we're, you know, and it's just hard on one, you know, it's just me. But I do have my home, and I'm very grateful for having my home. But I have always wanted to downsize, and y'all might think I'm crazy. I've either wanted to live in a tiny home, or I have wanted to live in a camper. You know, buy me a little camper, nice little camper. And so yesterday I went camper shopping. I went camper looking, which I have been looking at campers for probably about the last 5 or 6 years. I've owned my home a little over 8 years. I had a home with my ex-husband. Of course, he's got that home. And then I was able to later on buy my own home. And so like I said, I absolutely love my home, but you know, it's really a lot for me. I don't really need this big of a home. And it's around 1,500 square feet, a little more. And I've considered selling it, but then I think, man, you know, it's really, you know, what if something happens? And okay, so I buy a camper and I decide to become a nomad or whatever they call them. And I buy a camper, but I'm going to be probably a little bit more classy camper person. And because I'm still going to work. And I do have some land, which is out in the country, and it's about 18 miles one way from where I work. So, you know, I thought about maybe moving it out there. It was some land that was my mom, it was family land, and my sister and I split it. And so it's not a lot. So I've thought about, you know, I could move out there and then commute to work, but it'd be 18 miles. But then of course the winters are not great here. They're not bad, but they're not great. So I really considered maybe renting a spot in town. And there's a really nice one not too far from where I work. And I've talked to him multiple times. Of course, then I would have the expense of living there. And but it's really nice and very safe. I would feel very safe there. So anyway, so I went and looked at campers. Of course, the guy that waited on me, he's super sweet. And I was telling him about my YouTube, and he said, well, you know, you really ought to do content on, and I would. And so anyways, like I said, I was watching my little friend here. Boy, she was speaking my language. I mean, I was listening to her testimony about how she had her own business and how she was just like really stressed. And you know what? She asked this question. She said, somebody asked her what she did for fun. And she said she couldn't really answer because she didn't really know what she did for fun. And you know what? I asked myself the same question. You know, and I mean, you know, y'all know me. I don't take a lot to entertain me. I love to shop. But I don't travel. I don't do anything. I mean, you know, I guess shopping's my funnest thing I do in my life. And the thing is, you can't do a lot of shopping, but I'm very frugal at shopping. And I allow myself a little budget. I give myself a little budget, which I call my fun money. Listening to her in her video the other day, she really spoke to my heart. And her camper is like really tiny, really, really small. So yesterday I went camper shopping, just window shopping. And one thing I don't like car salesmen, and I'm sorry if you're a car salesman, but sometimes they're so slimy, and I know they don't mean to be, or some of them don't mean to be, but the last car dealership that I dealt with was a Hyundai dealership, and they just really the manager, who was about 30, really belittled me, and maybe he didn't mean to, but it just really bothered me because, you know, he was like half my age. And so anyways, I didn't end up buying a car there. I ended up buying it on Carvana. And I love my Carvana vehicle. I mean, I got a really good deal on it. I got what I wanted. I wasn't really going to get what I wanted there. I didn't really have to pay a middleman, you know, so I got a really nice little used vehicle. It's a little used truck, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So if I buy another car, I will buy it on Carvana. For someone like me, I know how to do my research. I know what I'm looking for as far as a camper. And I thought, okay, I am going to go over, and they were all very super nice, very young, very young guys and women. And, but they were super nice. And for the first time when I went and looked at campers, I was able to go and look at them by myself. They had a huge showroom. So I was able to go in each one and look at it and get the feel of it. Well, before I had went over there, I had watched Jenny with a J. I said, she has like a little pod, but she pulls her vehicle or camper around. And so I know that with my truck, I can pull about 5,000 pounds. Okay. And so I looked at a lot of campers that were 5,000 pounds or under. And as much as I absolutely adored them, and they were so cute, the two things that I thought of was my dogs, because my dogs are kennel trained, so they stay in a kennel when they're home. Because if I don't, they tend to tear stuff up and potty everywhere. So they do stay in kennel. When I get up and go to work in the morning, they go to their kennels before I'm ready for work. A lot of times say, it's a safe place for them. And y'all know I have a lot of clothes because I work in the public, and I have to dress nice. And again, I don't spend a lot on my clothes because I buy a lot of them. Like the shirt I wore today, I got at Goodwill. bought at Goodwill the other day. But I'm, I have to dress professional. And so, because being a funeral director, you need to look nice, Men are lucky they can wear suits, but we women have just 2 suits we can wear and switch off. We got pairs of pants and several tops. And so, the girl that like I said, I've been watching, Jenny, it works for her. But I was thinking, oh my God, where am I going to put my dogs and where am I going to put my clothes? But they were so cozy. They were so comfortable. And just look around. So I went into each one. I don't know how many were in that showroom, but there were a lot. And I absolutely loved them. But anyways, that was my dilemma. Was where was I going to put my dog's kennels? And where was I going to put my clothes? So I looked at some other ones that kind of were a little bit more. But anyways, I found a couple that I really, really did like that would work with me. And the thing was, when I had to go up myself with my vehicle, so I went in there and I told the guy, I said, look, what if I want to pull this and move it somewhere 3 times a year, because I have land, I might want to leave it in town, park it in a park in town. Or I might just want to go to a state park somewhere, And the guy was so super nice. And he said, well, ma'am, if you buy an RV from me, we will move it for you for free. And it's anywhere from like $350 to $600 to move an RV for somebody. And I said, what? And he said, yeah. He said, we'll move it. He said, as long as it's within 50 miles. And it would be, because I'm pretty close. And I looked at a couple that I really, really did like. I don't know if I'm gonna, I called my banker today, they're so quick, they want you to finance with, but I don't want to do that. I kind of want to go through my bank and see what kind of deal I can get first. And so, anyways, I looked at campers. So my plan was, what I thought I could do, and I also got the name of a management company from this young man who was trying to sell me a camper, and he goes, what do you want? I said, well, I really don't want to sell my house. The reason I don't want to sell my house is I have a lot of equity in my house. So I'm one of those people, Dave Ramsey would fall over, but when you have an equity and you have HELOCs, which is where you can borrow against your equity, I've never done that, but I may need to do that, so say what, I just needed to borrow some to fix my house, say. So I had applied for a HELOC a while back. I think it was last year, but I didn't get it because I had too much on my credit cards. But I have paid my credit cards down and my credit score has went up. So anyways, that is where I'm at. So I had talked to I thought about maybe renting my house out, maybe renting it for a year, because I'm afraid if I sell it and then I decide I don't want to live in a camper anymore, then I can go back to my house. But I really think that I would enjoy living, just living, like I live in town now, and I love my home and I love where I live, but it's getting a little crazy. Yeah, it's getting a little wild. Used to, when I first moved here, I never heard sirens. Now I hear sirens all the time, but that's probably just about anywhere. But I'm kind of a country girl at heart, and I kind of like to be out. And if I did do it, it might be next spring before I could do it. But I've got to talk to my banker, work on some finances, somewhere in camp, like a park, RV park. It's all included, so I wouldn't have any utilities, and it's included in the fee, and it would be a lot cheaper than what I'm paying now. So I don't know. Like I said, it's something that has been in my back of my mind for a very, 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 very long time. And I just think I would just like to take a year and just not have the responsibility of mowing a yard and having to fix things on this house, which I would still have to if I had renters. I wouldn't got this gypsy mode going, or no. I remember when I got divorced, I rented for quite a while, and then when I was able to buy my home, I was so proud. But my kids were still living with me. They were adults. My daughter just graduated, high school, and then my son, he was in between jobs, and so they were both living with me, and so this house was perfect for the three of us. It's not a big house, but sometimes it feels big. And then my daughter, of course, she moved out because she had moved home for a short time, and now she's got her own place, and she lives out in the country, and I love going to her place because she has like 30 chickens and all her dogs and her cats, and it just feels so good. And she don't live very far from where I work. So it's something in my mind, but that's my wild hair. I have always wanted to do, and you know what, it might be kind of fun, you know, to start to just meet people traveling, you know. So I thought about that, and I was thinking, you know, maybe this is just a new chapter. So stay tuned. I don't know if I'm going to move into the camper life. I don't think it would happen this year. Like I said, I really want to talk to my banker and want to get some things lined up before I did anything. And then of course I would need to talk to a management company about renting my house out. And I would try it for a year at least. And then if I decided I wanted to move out to the land that I have, which like I said, it's 18 miles from my work, I don't worry about it in the summer and the spring. It's the winter, because the winters are pretty brutal up there where my land is. So anyways, we'll see what happens. Give me any advice on a Friday night while I'm sitting here in my nightgown, please tip your Uber drivers, tip your DoorDash, and tip your grocery order people too. It's really important. And like I said, I've done that kind of work, and it's not easy. That's my Friday night, and that was my story I wanted to share with y'all. So thanks for joining me. Soon, in case I decide to, I'll keep you posted if I decide to go into the camper life. I don't know. We'll see. What do y'all think? You think I'm crazy? I mean, I feel a little crazy, but you know, the rest is still unwritten, and this might be my last chapter, so might as well make the best of it. Anyways, this is my channel called Carry On Candace, where I talk about random stuff like my ADHD and moving in a camper. Thanks for joining me. I hope to see y'all soon, and please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my community. And please leave me a comment, because I love to read y'all's comments, and I try to get to each one of them when I can. So thanks for joining me.